Hi, I'm Michael, and this is California. And now that the pandemic seems to be leveling off, the big question begins, how do we get back to the America that we had before? So Congress and the White House and all the politicians are really grappling with what is going to be the best way to get Americans through this lockdown as we begin to recover slowly. Now, they've had things like stimulus checks, one stimulus check, as well as expansion of some benefits, but one group in particular seems to get left out from all these expanded benefits, and that is seniors. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 7 things that Congress could do to help seniors specifically through the rest of the lockdown. Now, these are just some things that we're going to recommend. We'd love to see if you have anything that you think you could recommend. Put them down in the comments. We'd love to see that. Now, before we get into those 7 things, if you like this information, if you find it interesting, you find it helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. So let's talk about why seniors are disproportionately affected by this lockdown and the pandemic. And there's a couple main reasons. The first one is because many of them are on fixed or low incomes, which means they're not able to compensate for the price spikes that come about during a pandemic because of scarcity. So things like increases in food costs, increases in transportation costs, increases in healthcare costs, all those things disproportionately affect seniors who are on fixed incomes. Additionally, they are also most susceptible to the sickness, which means that for those seniors who are working, they're probably going to take much longer to get back to work than the general population because they're not going to go back to work until they are sure, until they are confident that where they work is safe and healthy. So that's why it's really necessary to have specific benefits for seniors that last until everything gets back to normal, because of the fact that it's going to take them much longer to get back to normal. All right, so the first suggestion I would have is to increase money to resources for seniors and food. So for example, there is a specific PEBT card, a pandemic EBT card, that's being sent out to children who are on reduced or free lunch to help them compensate for not getting the food through their school while they're at home and running around and playing. So I'd like to see that PEBT card extended to seniors, just because they obviously are not going to have enough money to cover some of the increase in costs in food. So getting some additional money on that PEBT card would be great. Additionally, some more money for food banks, as well as food banks that can deliver food to seniors so they don't have to leave their house to worry about social distancing or getting sick by being around all those other people. So my next suggestion would be to have a permanent and set cost of living adjustment for Social Security beneficiaries every year. So we know that the COLA is set to the economy, and since this year the economy has taken a pretty substantial dip, at least so far, it means that senior Social Security beneficiaries may actually get a 0 or a very small percent of cost of living adjustment to their Social Security benefits, meaning they're not going to get more money next year in 2021, potentially. Now, we know that the cost of living has continued to go up, so if they're not going to be able to get that increase of money, it means it's going to hit them very hard. So adjusting the COLA to be set to someone's income rather than set to the economy would mean that if their income is lower, they might get a larger percentage of COLA increase to help compensate for that increased cost of living and their income going down. So that one, as well as limiting the government from able to garnish Social Security benefits. So there are seniors out there who are getting their Social Security benefits garnished by the government for a variety of things, even including things like student loans. So limiting how much the government can garnish from the Social Security check, and then also guaranteeing a COLA increase based on income, not on the economy, would be a great way to put some more money into the pockets of seniors who are going to need it most. So my next suggestion is pretty straightforward. So for many seniors who are on Medicare, they're getting $144 deducted from their Social Security check, or they may be paying it every month for their Part B Medicare premium for their health care. So what I would like to see is that Part B premium waived or postponed until the end of the pandemic. So it would allow them to have $144 extra every month when they need it for food or for healthcare costs or for transportation or for any of those daily living costs. So my next suggestion would be a stimulus check specifically for seniors, that's designed for seniors, meaning that one, it's not just a one-time stimulus check. It's something that's going to be continual until the end of the pandemic, because a lot of seniors are going to take much more time to get back to work than the general population. Also, a lot of seniors got left out of the first round of stimulus checks. They're still waiting for their first round of stimulus checks, let alone for a second stimulus check for the general population. So it might be necessary to have a specific stimulus check for seniors that is not just one time, but it's going to be continual until they are able to get back to work or even until there is a vaccine so they can get back to normal life. Okay, so my next suggestion would be for Medicaid or Medi-Cal to increase the income limits and resource levels for seniors to be eligible. So there's a lot of states here in the United States where the income levels are very, very low. California is included, and we see it all the time in our offices. Seniors come in and they're not eligible because they're $100 over the limit or because they own a tractor or because they have money in the bank. So I think that waiving those temporarily would allow seniors to get health care that they need to be able to get tested or maybe to get treated for any of this virus kind of stuff. So having an increase in the income limits or the resource limits would allow a lot more seniors to get the care that they're going to need over the next couple months. So my next suggestion would be specifically for transportation for seniors. So I'd like to see more funding for specific types of transportation. So potentially a specific bus or a specific car just for seniors so they can feel more comfortable going out, because a lot of seniors are concerned about using public transportation, going on a bus or going on a train full of people. So if you have a specific bus that has reduced amounts of people in it, or you have a specific car, or maybe even have vouchers for seniors to utilize when they go to use Lyft or Uber or any of those companies so they can get their own car or a taxi. So I think those would be great ways to make seniors feel more comfortable going out so that they can do their daily living activities. They can go to the grocery store, they can go to the bank, they can go to the doctor and not feel so concerned, so anxious about being around all those other people. My last suggestion is actually really good for everybody, but it's also really good for seniors. So it is going to be rental, mortgage, and eviction protection. So more money for that. Because right now, a lot of seniors, if they were working, they're not able to go back to work, which means they may not have money to pay rent. Also, a lot of seniors who are on fixed benefits, the increased cost of goods and services has made it so that they may not be able to pay their rent as well because the increased cost in food and gas and all those other things. So right now, it would be really necessary to have protections for renters, for people who have mortgages, and to prevent people from getting evicted. That way they can focus on staying healthy and staying safe rather than stressing out about how they're going to pay that rent when there's not really going to be a way for them to do it. Thank you so much for watching. And again, these are just a couple suggestions that I have. If you have suggestions, put them down below in the comments. I would love to see what suggestions you have and see what kind of interesting things you can come up with as far as what can make the lives of seniors better and easier during the lockdown. Now, if you like this information, if you found it interesting, you found it helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Also, we here at California, we know health insurance. So whether it's private health insurance or Covered California or Medicare or Medicaid or Medi-Cal or health insurance for a small group, that is what we can help you with. And if you're here in California, our services are 100% free. Because I know it can be very confusing and frustrating sometimes coming out of your work insurance and then having to get private health insurance. Or if you're turning 65, trying to figure out what your Medicare options are. We can walk you through that whole process, help you look at the plans and the benefits that fit your needs best. So if you do have questions about that, leave some comments or questions below and we'll answer those as well. Now, other than that, I am Michael and this is California, wishing you a happy, healthy day.